you can choose to be happy. What if I told you the human brain is constantly being reshaped by experiences, thoughts, and even intentions? And what if the real key to lasting joy isn't about changing the circumstances, but about changing the brain? Sounds a bit like science fiction, right? But it's actually a scientific reality. For decades, the common belief was that your brain was pretty much set in stone after childhood. But guess what? Research has turned that idea on its head, showing that your brain is incredibly dynamic. Always capable of growth and rewiring, no matter what age you are. This is the power of neuroplasticity, and it's your built-in ability to learn happiness. The problem or current understanding. So many chase happiness like it's some prize to win externally. The better job, the new relationship, or the bigger house, often getting stuck on what's called the hedonic treadmill. You achieve something, feel a quick burst of pleasure, and then, boom, you are back to the usual happiness baseline. This chase can be exhausting and, let's be honest, often leaves a feeling of being unfulfilled. You might wonder, why, when things are objectively good, does that deep sense of joy still feel out of reach? Well, part of the answer lies in the brain. Humans have this natural tendency, a kind of old-school survival mechanism, to zoom in on negative stuff. It's called the negativity bias. It was necessary for early humans when spotting threats, but in today's world, it can mean the stress responses are on overdrive and default to scanning for what's wrong instead of appreciating what's right. And here's a fascinating tidbit. Only about 10% of human happiness is actually linked to life circumstances or situations. Around 40% comes down to intentional activities and how you think. That's where the opportunity is. That's where we can really start to make a difference. The solution: neuroplasticity and the science of happiness. The real game changer in this quest for joy is this fascinating concept, neuroplasticity. At its heart, neuroplasticity is the brain's incredible talent for reorganizing itself by forming new neural connections. It can do this throughout our entire lives. Picture your brain as a huge network of pathways. Every time you have a thought, feel an emotion, or do a particular action, the neural pathway for that experience gets stronger. Like a path through a meadow that gets more defined the more you walk it. The more you use it, the easier it is to go down that path again. You might have heard the saying, neurons that fire together, wire together. That's exactly it. For a long time, humans thought the brain structure was pretty much fixed after childhood. But groundbreaking research over the last few decades has completely altered that idea. It is now known the brain stays flexible and can change significantly at any age. This isn't just about bouncing back from an injury. It's about learning, memory, and so importantly for you, managing your emotions. So how does this connect to happiness? Well, if the brain can change, it means it can intentionally nurture the neural pathways linked to positive emotions, resilience, and well-being. It can, pretty much, rewire the brain for happiness. And this isn't just wishful thinking, it's backed by solid science. Positive psychology, which is all about what makes humans flourish, has pinpointed key parts of a happy life. For instance, Martin Seligman's PERMA model talks about positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment as the pillars of well-being. You can strengthen every single one of these through deliberate practice, putting neuroplasticity to work for you. Think about the Harvard study of adult development, one of the longest studies ever done on happiness. It followed people for over 80 years and found that strong, positive relationships and engaging in meaningful work were some of the biggest predictors of lifelong happiness and fulfillment. These aren't things that just happen. They involve active choices and engagement that literally shape our brain's landscape. When consistently selecting actions and thoughts that line up with these principles, the brain is wired for more joy. It's pretty profound. Happiness is less about what happens around you and more about how your brain is set up to process it all. And the exciting part? You can actively influence that setup. It means who you are. Your thoughts, habits, and emotional patterns aren't set in stone. Change isn't just possible, it's always happening. Actionable strategies. Training your brain for joy. All right, Now that you know your brain is this incredible, changeable thing, how you can consciously steer that change towards more joy and well-being. The science is on your side. Specific, intentional practices really can reshape our neural pathways. Here are a few powerful, evidence-based strategies you can start using today. Practice gratitude. This one might sound simple, but its effects are huge. Regularly focusing on what you're thankful for can seriously boost your optimism, joy, and how satisfied you feel with life. When you practice gratitude, you are actively nudging your brain's focus away from that negativity bias and onto the good stuff in your life. This strengthens the neural circuits linked to positive emotions. Defining the pathways through the meadow. How to do it? Try keeping a gratitude journal. Every day, jot down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. They can be big things like a supportive friend, or small things like a sunny morning or that perfect cup of coffee. Consistency is the key. As you make this a regular habit, you'll naturally start noticing more things to be grateful for. Build on the small, or what sometimes might seem insignificant. You are basically training your brain to scan for the good. Cultivate mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is all about paying attention to the present moment without judging it. Meditation is a more formal way to build this skill. These practices are proven to increase grey matter in brain areas that handle attention, emotional regulation, and memory. They help dial down stress, build resilience, and grow positive emotions by letting you observe your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. This creates a little bit of space between a trigger and your reaction, giving you more say in how you respond. How to do it? Start small. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a difference. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and just focus on your breath. Notice the feeling of the air coming in and going out. Your mind will wander, that's what minds do. And when it does, just gently bring your attention back to your breath. There are many guided meditations online and in apps to help you get started. Some research even highlights kindfulness, which is compassion-focused mindfulness. Reframe negative thoughts. Cognitive reframing. Let's face it, your thoughts aren't always facts. Often they're just your interpretations. And thanks to that negativity bias mentioned previously, these interpretations can get pretty negative, and pretty often. Cognitive reframing is about spotting those negative or unhelpful thought patterns, then consciously challenging and changing them into something more positive or realistic. This directly works with neuroplasticity by weakening those unhelpful brain pathways and strengthening more constructive ones. How to do it? When you catch yourself thinking something negative, like, "I always mess things up," just pause. Ask yourself, is this thought 100% true? What's the evidence for it? What's the evidence against it? Is there another way to look at this? So instead of "I always mess things up," you might try, "Okay, I made a mistake here, but I can learn from it and do better next time." Practicing this over time helps you build more optimistic ways of thinking. Slowly, the meadow grass grows over these pathways. Engage in acts of kindness. Doing kind things, big or small, planned or totally spontaneous, has a powerful effect on happiness, not just for the person on the receiving end, but big time for you, the giver. These actions trigger the release of endorphins and build a sense of connection and purpose, which are so important for feeling good. Research keeps showing that helping others really does boost your mood and can create this awesome positive ripple effect. Even just seeing someone else be altruistic can lift your spirits and make you want to do good too. How to do it? Look for little opportunities every day. Offer a genuine compliment. Help out a neighbor. Volunteer for something you care about. If you can, donate to a charity. The act itself, done with a genuine heart, is what really counts. The World Happiness Report actually points out that kind acts, like helping strangers, are still way more common than before the pandemic, and doing them makes people happier. Nurture positive relationships. Studies show that strong social connections are a bedrock of long-term happiness. Positive interactions boost oxytocin, That's a hormone linked to bonding and well-being. It gives emotional support that helps when handling stress. Investing your time and energy in building and keeping supportive relationships actually strengthens the neural pathways tied to feeling safe, like you belong, and joyful. How to do it. Make time for the important people in your life. Really listen when they talk. Offer your support. Tell them you appreciate them. Start conversations, even with people you don't know that well. Building your social fitness, basically your ability to create and keep strong relationships, is more vital to a long and happy life than a lot of other things that are often focused on. Reinforcement and encouragement. Now, it's good to remember that training your brain for joy is like building any other skill. It really does take time, patience, and consistent practice. You wouldn't expect to play the guitar like a pro after just one lesson, right? In the same way, rewiring those deeply set thought patterns and emotional habits doesn't happen overnight. So be kind to yourself during this journey. Some days will feel easier than others, and that's completely normal. The fantastic thing about neuroplasticity is that every little effort you make truly counts. Each time you choose a grateful thought, take a moment for mindfulness, or do something kind, you're subtly reshaping your brain. These aren't just quick, feel-good fixes. They're investments in your long-term well-being, your resilience, and your ability to feel deep, lasting joy. The science clearly shows that you have much more say in your own happiness than you might think. Conclusion. The amazing science of neuroplasticity tells you something really powerful. Your brain isn't fixed, and happiness isn't just about getting lucky. It's a skill you can learn, a state you can cultivate, and a capacity you can expand. You absolutely have the built-in ability to train your brain for joy, to literally reshape its pathways towards more peace, resilience, and fulfillment. This whole journey starts with just one step. You don't need to try all these strategies at once. Pick one that really speaks to you right now. Maybe it's starting a simple gratitude practice tonight. Or perhaps it's committing to 5 minutes of mindfulness each morning this week. What's one small step you'll take today to start training your brain for joy? Share your commitment or your favorite happiness strategy in the comments below. Inspiring others can be a pretty joyful act in itself. And hey, if you found this information valuable, please give this video a like, subscribe for more insights, and share it with someone who might like to know that they too have the power to cultivate their own joy. Thanks so much for watching.